Hello, welcome to another video, and today I have a new Amon build. So yes, I kinda got bullied into choosing Amon as my second character, just to see what I can do with him, since at the time people were struggling. Not so much anymore, mind, we're starting to figure him out, and this is what I've got. After doing some late night testing, we have discovered that the fire pot, as you may have already seen around, does both gun stuff and grenade stuff, and that extends to quite a bit. Now, if you wish to see a written guide on this and my other builds, be sure to check out my write-ups on Mobilytics. Mobilytics is a build sharing guides website who I'm now partnered with, and it's where I'll be putting write-ups for all of my builds. So if you wish to see more from me, go and check them out. So, the skills. What have I done? I've gone with a blue-green tree. Initially, I went red tree with all of this juicy gun stuff, since it all applies to that fire pot grenade. However, I've gone green tree for one important skill, endless bombardment. Grenade refund chance 6%. This is a random chance to just refund a grenade charge when you throw them, allowing you to throw 6 or 7 grenades, or even more, in a row, which gets very ridiculous when you have a grenade that stacks its damage exponentially with every grenade thrown. Why? Well, the fire pot. It spawns homing stickies over time, and we know stickies. Stickies increase the explosion damage for every sticky applied to the target. More stickies, more explosions, and the stronger each already existing explosion is. So it just increases exponentially into this ridiculous and spirals out of control. So more grenades, more better. You want grenades. And that is the basis of this build. But we can get quite creative with it. So because the fire pot is firing bullets, it is a source both ordnance and gun, which allows us to benefit off of both gun and ordnance stuff. For example, we'll go with the skills. We'll start with blue tree, since that's where I started. We have Tail of the Comet. Whenever we deal ordnance damage, there's a chance to apply a cryostatus effect. It's quite a strong one as well. But on the next tier, we have bullet hail. Amon's gunshots have a chance to ricochet. Well, which is it? It's both. We can ricochet and do this powerful damage over time. And because we're investing in both guns and grenades, it means that our guns are also good. We're not all in on grenades. Because they get both, because the fire pot gets both, our guns can also benefit and not be, kind of trash. And then that takes us over to Blackout. Ordnance damage has a chance to critically hit. This is very important for us. Now, this shock damage is currently, at time of recording, bugged to only give 1 point's worth of damage, which is 21%. So when this gets fixed, our damage is going to skyrocket and especially help versus those shielded targets. Now, from the green tree, there isn't as much. Green tree is a little bit messy and all over the place, but we can still get some stuff out here. For example, critical hit damage. This effect is doubled after dealing melee damage, if you want. Yeah, it's skill crit, so it's twice as good as what it says. Decent skill, and then I've just gone some elemental damage kill skill as well, since everything else I didn't really care for. Then we've got Vital Organs, a kill skill. We gain increased gun critical hit chance. That's right, gun critical hit chance. We also have Ordnance critical hit chance. The advantage of having a grenade that is both. Then Cacophony to get us down the tree and some extra ordnance stuff, and then the all-important Endless Bombardment. Now, any footage that you see from me, from the previous livestream that I've done using this build, or some clips that I've chosen for this video, I'm using 30% grenade refund chance. So bear in mind that the build that it's slightly different. This is better. What I've got here for you is better. But it is from a very lucky class mod. The passives suck, for what it's worth, but the +5 is very nice, and it has elevated this build. However, any gameplay is shown does not have the 60%, so don't worry about needing a +5 class mod. You definitely don't, but it's funny when you do, because you can get some crazy chains when you get to 6, 7, 8 grenades thrown. Now, onto specializations. I've beelined Fragmentation Payload, because, well, why wouldn't we? It gives us loads of crit damage. It's skill crit as well, so it's very, very powerful for us. And we get some extra crit chance as well in there. Now, I do have Tripwire and Full Spectrum Arsenal just because I don't have others unlocked. But because we're guns, we can benefit from Bullet Train. So I'm working towards Bullet Train next. And then we can use some Vagabond parts on a shield, a Super Soldier, whatever. Get a load of movement speed. And that transfers into gun damage, and that ties in with our action skill choice, which is Onslaughter, which gives us a bonus incendiary damage, 25%. That's going to apply. We like that. And 30% movement speed. That 30% movement speed will tie into Bullet Train, so I'm looking forward to unlocking that. Then we can go, best defense and riddle you this for some more gun damage. So that would probably be my choice. Best defense, fragmentation payload, riddle you this, Bullet Train. That seems pretty good. There's other stuff you can do. You can mix them around as you see fit. Full spectrum arsenal if you want as well, if you've got a lot of points in brute. But those are just my choices. Fragmentation, best defense, riddle you this, Bullet Train. Now, in terms of gear, we of course got a fire pot. And in terms of parts, you're probably going to want the overflow maximum grenade charge. I'm still looking for firmware on mine. You're probably going to want this one, but anything to help crit or damage. Now, I'm using a grenade damage part, which is actually kind of irrelevant based on a bug, which I'll get into. But, if they sort that out, it'll be a good part. But yeah, I'd say try and go for overflow. In terms of enhancement, that's just going to be what gun choice you've chosen with. I've gone with the Hot Slugger, and that is because that bug, when you shoot, existing projectiles get the damage of the thing that you shot. It's Ahab glitch all over again, which means if you use a knife launcher, a grenade launcher, or a spread launcher, we can increase the damage of these stickies to ridiculous amounts. And I try to avoid this glitch, but if you want to utilize that, of course, you're just going to elevate your damage even more. 3-4 times more damage, which is crazy. So that is there if you really just feel the need to just I want you dead. But I've been using the Hot Slugger. It's really fun. It's a great weapon. It works with the build, and it's similar damage to the fire pot. So when I shoot and reload, that should transfer its damage. I think it's a tricky interaction, which I will admit I don't fully understand. So I apologize if I get something wrong. I don't want to intentionally spread misinformation, but this is my understanding: is when you've got stickies out and you shoot something of a different damage amount, your stickies will inherit the damage of the thing that you have fired. That's how I think it's worked. So that is why I'm recommending the Hot Slugger, because it's got similar damage. In terms of rep kit, I've gone with Accelerator, but you probably want to go Accelerator, Go-Go Gadget, or Splash Damage, or Enrage, Go-Go Gadget. Go-Go Gadget is, I believe I have one. Yeah, there we go. Splash Damage, Go-Go Gadget. I mean, that's not a poor rep kit, but Go-Go Gadget, more grenade spam, we want that. And then for the class mod, I've gone with the Cyborg with Endless Bombardment. That is what I would recommend you do. I've got terrible passives on mine, but in terms of passives, you're going to want things like gun crit chance, ordnance crit chance, ordnance damage, all damage, gun damage, and just go for big percentages. When all the damage numbers in this item slot is all additive to everything in your suit, so just go for big numbers. As for shield, my shield is wrong. You probably want a fireworks or a what's for dinner, or maybe even a super soldier for that movement speed. I unfortunately do not know of many shields in this game, so I cannot recommend. There might be a shield out there that's just screaming to be used with this build that I haven't recommended. It's just because I don't know it exists. So I apologize for that. However, fireworks will be a no-brainer here. Or what's for dinner. And then finally onto firmwares. I've gone with Gadget Ahoy 3 and Airstrike 2. You can also go with, I shouldn't have one. Yep, Get Thrown. What does Get Thrown do again? Ordnance damage splash radius. So that's also another good one. That, in fact, I believe is identical to Airstrike. I did read somewhere that Airstrike might actually only be 10%. So don't worry about too much about Airstrike. Airstrike or Get Thrown, doesn't matter which one you use. But Gadget Ahoy is really nice. So I would definitely recommend Gadget Ahoy for this. And yeah, that basically wraps it up, I think. In terms of gameplay, right, okay, yeah. In terms of gameplay, you want to throw these out. The homing radius is not very large, so you've got to want to make sure you're throwing these grenades close to the enemies. And if the enemies move a lot, you'll have to, figure that one out. You also need to give the stickies time to, hit enemies and stack up. because it is that exponential growth. So do not just go around spamming the Hot Slugger. Unless it's killing things, then absolutely do it. But if you want to get the most out of your grenade, do not spam the Hot Slugger. Wait, be patient, let those stickies stack up on enemies, and then reload your Hot Slugger and everything will pop. When a boss spawns, throw your grenade under the boss, let the sticky stack up, it takes a little bit of time, and then you'll hopefully melt it. Some bosses go do like immunity stuff, such as a particular late game fight that I will not spoil, but he tends to go into like this cube mode, move around for a second and stuff. So for that fight, I wait until he's done that show and dance, then I do my damage window, just to give me as much time before he does it again. And that's how I work with that boss. So yeah, that's the build. It's great fun. This is how I've leveled my Amon. I've got some UVH progression clips, and then I've also been playing around a lot at UVH 5, and it's working wonders. And I hope you have fun with it. There's a write-up with Mobalytics in the description in the pinned comment, so check that out if you want the written version. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay awesome. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.